you believe that isn't how you want to run your family, I have no choice but to respect that. But don't pretend as if it isn't an unpopular sentiment.
An enormous percentage of Hollywood kids are trans. Like, how many celebrities have trans kids? It's new. It's not a thing that was going on just a few. It was rare in the past.
It's especially if I look cuter than any girl does. Like, what's the problem? Like, what's the issue? I'm out all the time, you know, and like I'm killing a dress and no one else is. Like, the girls in the room are not doing it. Like, they don't look cute.
In the ritual of Baphomet, the transgender, to show allegiance to him, you had to kiss his ass ring.
Nobody was ready for what E.J. Johnson said in that interview, and nobody was ready for what D.L. Hughley said back. And by the time you finish watching this video, you are going to understand why this whole situation is so much bigger than one. Comment in one interview. Because E.J. did not just say something controversial, he cracked open a conversation about Hollywood that people have been too scared to have. And D.L. Hughley walked right through that door without blinking, and what came out on the other side has the internet completely divided right now. And before we get into it, if you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and drop a comment below telling us where you stand on all of this, because trust me, by the end of this video, you are going to have a whole lot to say, and we want to hear every word of it.
On in Hollywood.
But even I told them on my birthday, in June, that I was like, we're not doing he, we're not doing man, we're not doing gay. Like, and it was very freeing, you know. Even like son, I was like, you know, the world tried to give me that label, like Magic Johnson's son, and I was like, well, he's dead. And now there is Miss Thing. Like, we're not doing that either.
So let us start with E.J. Johnson, because that is where this whole thing blew up. E.J. sat down with Carlos King for an interview and said a series of things that had people doing a double take at their phones. Now, E.J. has always been out there with his feminine energy and his style, and for the most part, people have been pretty live and let live about it. But this interview was different, because E.J. did not just talk about his identity, he decided to rank himself above every woman in the room while doing it. He said flat out that no matter where he goes, he is always the best dressed and the best looking person there, and that the women around him are simply not doing it and are not dressed to the nines. And he said this with zero hesitation, like it was just an obvious fact that everyone should already know. Now here is the part that really got people fired up, because EJ also made it clear in that same interview that he does not identify as a woman and does not want to be called trans.
Me, you're not grown till you leave my house. You're not going. If you're still going to a pediatrician, if you need my permission to go to a movie, then I'm going to have a say in what happens. If you believe that isn't how you want to run your family, I have no choice but to respect that. But don't pretend as if it isn't an unpopular sentiment.
So you are sitting there watching this and you are thinking, wait a minute, so you want to claim the femininity and the clothes and the pronouns and all the social energy that comes with womanhood, but you do not actually want to be a woman. And on top of that, you want to tell actual women that they cannot compete with you. And people were looking at their screens like, come on now, you cannot have it both ways like that. Because what EJ is essentially doing is treating womanhood like a costume he gets to put on when it suits him and take off when it does not, and that is not a good look no matter how you slice it. Women are out here dealing with things that go way beyond outfits and makeup, and EJ basically said, I can do the fun parts better than you, but do not dare put that label on me, and the internet collectively said, absolutely not, sir. And it was not just women who had a problem with this, because even people within the gay and queer community came out and said they were not claiming EJ, and that is really saying something. Landon Romano, who is a popular gay influencer, went on camera.
Are there pronouns that you go by today, or how do you identify your sexuality?
I just say call me EJ as much as possible.
Okay.
You know, it's like pronouns I don't really like he. You know, they is fine, you know, whatever. She is cool. Like, I'm really not a stickler about it.
Yeah.
They'll keep saying man or bro too many times, and I'm like, I'm not your bro. Like, you know, but it's usually just somebody you're never going to see again, so who cares? But yeah, like I said, I was like always a deeply feminine being, and like, you know, that's really all that matters to me. You know, it's like I'm extremely happy in this body. Like I love my skin. I love waking up and being me every day. Like, it's a beautiful thing. Like, to walk into the, you know, bathroom and see yourself in the mirror and you're just like, that bitch, like, yes. Like, it's that for me right now.
And said EJ is delusional if he actually believes he is the baddest in every room. And he said the LGBTQ community needs to stop competing with women because women are not in competition with them. And then Bobby Lights, who is a prominent gay reality star, took a completely different angle and said the reason EJ feels out of place in gay spaces is because he walks around with the energy of a Republican white woman in her mid-40s, with a chip on her shoulder, and honestly, that description had a lot of people in the comments screaming because they felt like it was accurate. So EJ managed to get dragged from every single direction all at once, which is actually pretty hard to do, but here we are. But then DL Hughley stepped into the conversation, and when DL steps in, you know it is about to get real because DL does not do subtle. DL did not just go after EJ, he zoomed all the way out and asked the question that a lot of people have been whispering about in private.
I don't attract gay men, and I'm not attracted to gay men. But no, but to be honest, it's like, that's why I don't go to gay clubs. I don't go to, you know, gay things, because it's like the men that I attract are not there. I do that when I go to the straight rooms.
So, so has it always been that way for you in terms of when it comes to men? Has it always been what some people consider the straight guy always being the one that would approach you?
Or somebody who, has been intimate and dating, you know, women for most of their life, or like up until then, for sure. Absolutely. It has always been that way, but now it's like even more so, now that I definitely present in more of a feminine way. Because also, like, it's like my energy is that.
EJ Johnson said he is the baddest in the room. He's better than any other female in the room. Well, yes, if the room is empty. Listen, EJ, I don't understand why the LGBTQ community is always trying to be in competition with women. Women is not in competition with us, especially if you up there trying to be a woman. You in woman's clothes, you in a dress. And that's cool, express yourself how you want to, but why are you trying to bring down the next bit? You better than them. Anybody with two sets of eyes know that's not true. I don't know what land of delusion you reside in, but you best check the mailbox. The brochure said false advertisement. That is not true. That is incorrect. Okay, thank you.
But nobody with a big platform has been willing to say out loud, which is why does it seem like almost every single major Hollywood celebrity has a trans or non-binary kid right now. And DL was not dancing around it either, because he pointed directly at Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union and said there is no way on this earth that a 3-year-old child understands what it means to be transgender unless the parents deliberately put that world in front of them. And he said something that a lot of parents at home were nodding their heads to, which is that if a child still needs your permission to go see a movie, then that same child should not be making permanent life-altering decisions about their body without serious adult guidance. And DL said he was not going to pretend like that is an unpopular opinion, because it is not. And when you actually sit down and look at the list, it is genuinely hard to ignore, because it is not just 1 or 2 celebrities, it is a whole roster. You have Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union with Zia, Marlon Wayans with his son Kai, Eddie Murphy has a child living as a trans man, and then you have Elon Musk, Jamie Lee Curtis, Charlize Theron.
20 years ago, I knew that transgenders was going to be a thing. I had seen that word transgender was Baphomet, the transgender.
Angelina Jolie, Megan Fox, Cher, Shady, J-Lo, and even Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck all with trans or non-binary children. And at a certain point, a pattern stops being a coincidence and starts being something that deserves a real, honest conversation without people getting canceled for simply asking the question. Now, there are several theories floating around about why this keeps happening in celebrity households specifically. One theory is that these kids grew up in this magical, overprotected bubble where everything was perfect, and then puberty hit and reality came crashing in hard, and transitioning became a way to pump the brakes on growing up because the real world felt too overwhelming. Another theory that actual researchers have studied is social contagion, which is the idea that these kids tend to run in tight, neurologically similar friend groups, and when one person comes out, suddenly the whole circle follows, not necessarily because of deep individual identity, but because of group belonging and the need to fit in somewhere. And then there is the theory that some of these kids were raised by parents who were so consumed by their own careers and their own fame that the kids were essentially emotionally starved, and transitioning became a way to finally get their parents to stop and pay attention to them. And honestly, when you look at some of these families, that theory does not feel like a stretch at all. And then you have Cat Williams, who went even further than any of these theories and said this whole thing goes way deeper than parenting choices or social trends, and the things he was suggesting had people genuinely unsettled because he was implying that there are forces at work in Hollywood that the average person does not fully understand, and that these children are less the result of natural development and more the result of deliberate exposure and influence at the highest levels of the entertainment industry. Now, whether you believe that or think it sounds completely out there, the fact that so many people are resonating with that idea says something about how little trust people have left in Hollywood as an institution. So, at the end of all of this, the real question comes down to whether this is simply a matter of visibility because celebrities are famous and their kids live public lives, and so we hear about it more than we would with regular families, or whether there is genuinely something worth examining about the environment these children are being raised in and the influences they are being exposed to from a very young age. And that is not a question with an easy answer, but it is absolutely a question worth asking out loud. Drop your thoughts in the comments right now because we want to know exactly where you stand on all of this, and make sure you are subscribed so you do not miss what is coming next, because trust us, this conversation is only just getting started.